Welcome to New Testament Greek, Biblical Greek, Greek 111. This is the first of two semesters designed to introduce a student to the basic skills necessary to read anything in the Greek New Testament. I want to just introduce a little bit of what we're going to do over the next two semesters, 15 weeks for Greek 111 and 15 weeks for Greek 112. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're after, kind of the whole semester objectives. We're going to work through Mounts, the basics of biblical Greek grammar. He has a grammar book and a workbook of exercises, so we'll work through the exercises as homework, and then we'll cover this as the basics of the grammar. We're going to translate key passages from the Greek New Testament. And we're going to start with passages like John 1, 1 to 18, start with things like the Lord's Prayer, some of the Beatitudes, a little bit of the simpler sections, and perhaps you're familiar with already, and we're going to use that as kinds of means to help us learn how to translate. We'll learn by the end of the second semester the top 335 Greek vocabulary words. And the nice thing about that is with any foreign language, when you learn, say, the top 500 words, you know 80% of everything in the language. Now, by the time you're an adult person, in America, you're going to know over 100,000 vocabulary words. But it's interesting that with just the top 500, nearly 80% of all communication is governed by just those words. So basically, we're going to learn about 12 new vocabulary words a week. This will be cumulative, and so we will constantly be reviewing these vocabulary words, but we'll do that every week. And then we'll work through one chapter in Mounts's grammar to deal with these basics of Greek grammar. So what that means is every week will come, there'll be an initial video like this. I'll put together a PowerPoint of the vocabulary words for that week. We'll go over some key passages, and then at the end of the week there'll be a quiz, and it will have vocabulary, and we'll have some sentences from Mounts's grammar, and it'll have a little bit of these key passages. And what we're working toward is the very last thing that we'll do is we'll take a benchmarking Greek exam at the end of the semester. You'll have 30 minutes to read as much Greek as you can make it through. There have been some students who've been able to read the whole thing. There are some students who've read the whole thing in, a matter of less than 15 minutes. So what we're doing is we're trying to get to the place where we can read. And so the way that we'll do that is these 4 objectives. And then just in terms of our weekly schedule, what we'll do is we'll work through an initial video. I'll explain a little bit of Mounts's grammar. If you have the resources, there is a DVD of Bill Mounts himself doing it. That's a little bit expensive. We didn't want to require that as a required textbook, but he has the 36 lessons on 4 DVDs, and he's an excellent teacher. And so if you can purchase that, or if the school will, if you're a local high school teacher in the school will purchase that for you, perhaps you want to watch his. But I'll cover the same material in my Greek. Ultimately will be a great joy. I believe you'll come to love reading New Testament Greek. You'll put the Greek New Testament on your phone, take it to church, read along with the pastor. When you study, do personal study, you'll use it. It will help your English vocabulary. It will help your study skills as a student. So I'm delighted that we're going to do this together. We'll work through the video. We'll look at key New Testament passages. We'll discuss the grammar and mounts, and then we'll learn the vocabulary. So welcome to this journey, and let's dive in with the next video.